Peace and blessings to you too. Shema Yisrael Asher Eloheinu Yahweh Echad. Good morning, Kate. So nice to see you. ואהבת את ענת אלוהיך ובכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. Good morning, Blair. Good morning, Jojo. Thank you for the microphone, Anthony. I'm glad you like the way I look, Daichi. So, don't do that deep voice today, it freaks me out. But this voice is part of my range, and I use it all the time. I'm not ashamed that I have a male voice sometimes, because I also have this voice, and I like to use them both. What language is this? Well, what we have just heard is a quotation from the book of Deuteronomy, probably the most commonly quoted section of the Torah in the full Jewish religion. So, the setting for the book of Deuteronomy is that the nation of Israel, which is not yet a nation, they do not yet occupy land, but they want to, and they've just been freed from Egypt. There was a political upheaval. The Sea Peoples came from the eastern Mediterranean, from the western Mediterranean, and they destroyed a bunch of Canaanitic cities. Egypt lost control over the land of Canaan, and there were people there, and they were developing stories about themselves. And one story that they had was that they were wandering through the desert under the guidance of a prophet named Moses. And Moses spoke to their God named Yahweh, and this is what he said. Listen, Israel. Listen, you who struggles with God. That is what the name Israel means. Israel, struggle. El is God, Israel. Listen, you who struggles with God. Yahweh, Eloheinu, Asher, Echad, are one. Right? These were Canaanitic deities. These were deities that were worshipped throughout the eastern Mediterranean. And the theological insight that Moses is bringing is that of monotheism, right? All gods are one God is the original claim, which is a little bit different than what the claim evolved into, which is even broader. All is one. Yahweh Echad. The serpent eats its tail. Everything contains itself. At the core, the universe is one single unitary thing of which all of us, every single one of us, is a part. And that theological insight, that metaphysical insight, is difficult to really hold, to really experience. You who struggles with gender identity, yes. I'm just reading the comments. Y'all are so lovely. These are actually extremely kind comments. Thank you for giving a good vibe to this stream. We've been practicing that, haven't we? The moderators and I, trying to figure out exactly what tone we want in this room. This is the tone I want right now. I want to talk about Deuteronomy. Hey, Rhett. How are you? So, Moses goes on, after he makes this statement of monotheism, and goes on to explain what we should do with it. And what we should do with it is fairly simple. It does not require belief, doesn't require any acceptance of some foreign power. Instead, it's about practice. It's about repetition. And the V'ahavta can be translated as, and you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your might, and with all your soul. And these words, which I will teach to you today, these words that are coming out of your cell phone right now, these words, teach them to your children, if you can, and recite them when you are at home, and when you are away, when you lie down, and when you get up. And you shall bind them as a symbol on your hand, and let them serve as a sign on your forehead, tefillin. And you shall inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates, mezuzot. Mezuzah. I have a mezuzah right here. Chunk. Mezuzah. No, I do not have kids. So, basically what that prayer means is copy me. Right? That's what it means. It means copy me. Teach them. These words, these old ancient words, repeat them and repeat them and repeat them. And in so doing, you will connect yourself to a lineage which is older than you, wiser than you, and which can provide your life with a kind of context and placement that only old words can. At least that's my take on it, right? You can interpret these words however you wish, and in fact, they've been recited daily by thousands of people for thousands of years, and in those thousands of repetitions, they've taken on just about every meaning that you could possibly imagine. And today, what they mean to me is a reminder that I am interconnected with the rest of this reality, that I am part of it, and in fact, I am indistinguishable from it, and all is whole. But there's a little bit more to this prayer that I think it's important to share with you. It takes on a political turn. It's all well and good to say that all is one, and to remind people, hey, remind yourself that all is one. Repeat that. Repeat it over and over and over again. That's nice. But this is a religion. It's a religion that was used from the very beginning to organize a political identity. And so, the next phrases are to remind the cost of that political identity, to remind what it actually is that Israel is. Good morning, Tic Tac. Agent Tic Tac. When you sing, what language do you speak? Well, I'm about to recite to you in Hebrew, Miss Daisy. Yeshua, Jesus, is a real deity. Of course he's a real deity. Yeah, so I'm about to recite in Hebrew, from the book of Deuteronomy, the words which come directly after the V'ahavta. And these are words about occupation. And it goes like this. V'chaya. Ki v'achaya Elohecha el ha'aretz asher nisbai lavatecha le'avram yitzchak u'Yaakov. Latet lach avrim gedolot v'tavot asher lo vanita. Uvatim mileim kol tuva asher lo mileta. Uvorot atzuvim asher lo asatva. Kerarim bizitim asher lo natata. Ve'alachta v'shavata. Hishamer lecha pen yishchach et Yahweh asher tishacha. Mi'eretz Mitzrayim mi'bet avadim. When Yahweh Eloheinu brings you into the land that he swore to your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to assign to you, great and flourishing cities that you did not build, houses full of all good things that you did not fill, hewn cisterns that you did not hew, vineyards and olive groves that you did not plant, and you eat your fill. Take heed that you do not forget Yahweh, who freed you from the land of Egypt, the house of bondage. So, what does Yehovah mean to me? Someone asked. Yehovah is just another word for Yahweh. Yahweh being a name from 4,000 years ago to refer to a particular deity who emerged in a particular place, who came to mean quite a lot to a lot of people. And I try to connect to his character, right? Much of the Torah is an extortion, like, you should know the character of God, right? God has a character, which should indicate a paradox, right? You can't actually claim that all is one, that God is all things, and then claim that God has a kind of character, a kind of personality. But nonetheless, Yahweh in the Old Testament can't be denied has a sort of personality. You read the things that he says, the things that he wants, and he says he's jealous. Like, how could an all thing, how could a being which represents the totality of everything be jealous? Except if he's also not jealous at the same time. That's not about occupation, misinterpretation of the stricture. And yet he says, when Yahweh Eloheinu brings you into the land that he swore to your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to assign to you, brings you into land that he swore to assign to you, great and flourishing cities that you did not build. Who built them? Houses full of all good things that you did not fill. Who filled them? Hewn cisterns that you did not hew. Who hewed them? You know, I've been to Palestine. I've seen the occupation. I have drunk from cisterns that were stolen from the people who built them. I've eaten from vineyards and olive groves that were stolen from the people who planted them. I've seen these things. They're real. And I live with them every day. There is a well, a spring box, right up the hill, right outside this window, that was dug 150 years ago by someone who I have no relation to. Is it mine now because I have some legal claim to this land that I occupy? Before the colonists came, the Oneida people lived here. Was the land theirs? We all live on stolen land. Every single one of us lives on stolen land. Where did the term Palestine come from? It came from the Philistines. The Philistines, who were Greeks. They were Greek refugees who landed on the eastern coast of the Mediterranean after there was political catastrophe around 3,500 years ago. They call it the Bronze Age collapse. And the Philistines came and they settled on the eastern coast of the Mediterranean. They brought their Greek carpentry and Greek pottery. We have the archaeological record. We know the Philistines were Greek. And we know that is where the term Palestine comes from. All of the people who live there now were occupiers at some point. So I'm a Zionist? Well, no. I just recognize that occupation has been a part of the history of that land for as long as that land has had a history. And it would be quite a mistake to claim that any one people has sole ownership of it, because every single one of those people has occupied the land, conquered. How is conquering different from stolen? Conquered the land, you mean? Nothing. What is the difference between conquering and stealing? Those are both taking by use of violence. It's called war. People conquer new lands and war, and that's life. It's not stolen, it's taken. I'm not sure that distinction is very meaningful to me. Like that war is just this inevitable thing that humans do, and there's nothing we can do about it, so we just throw up our hands. Like, no. Like, someone with malice stole that land. And someone with malice before them stole it from the people who lived there before that. And someone with malice before them conquered it from the people who lived there before that. The difference between conquering and theft, there is no difference to me. You take it by force. Your people lost that war. That's the price they pay. Well, sure. But do we want to live in a world full of war? Do we want to live on land that has always been occupied? I mean, perhaps. Perhaps. I really haven't heard of the tear and seals, and it wasn't conquered. I think this is a semantic debate that I don't want to participate in anymore. The main point here is that we do not deserve the things that we have, right? Other people suffered in order for us to have the things that we have, and we should remember this. And we should remember this because Yahweh threatens and says, if you do not remember, I can just as easily return you from the house of bondage which I liberated you from. Remember that you were once slaves, and remember that you will be slaves again. So it goes. Well, there are 216 people here, and not many of you are trolls, so that is good. Yes, I am Jewish. You apologize if you worded it wrong. You were agreeing with me. And this is I just think it's very telling that that is a section that is in the book of Deuteronomy, right? Like, it's in the Old Testament. It's this very, very clear statement that the land was taken from people who perhaps didn't want it taken from them, right? We can debate whether it was stolen or whether it was conquered. It wasn't gifted. It certainly wasn't gifted. Houses full of all good things that you did not fill. That's not a gift, right? It's not a gift. So the Torah tells us, remember this theft. Remember this theft that is at the core of your identity. And that doesn't mean you have to give away those houses. It doesn't mean you shouldn't occupy the land of Israel. But remember that it's occupied. Remember that this place that I live right now is Oneida land, and was for thousands of years, or at least hundreds. The world has been stolen many times over. And here we are, all alive in it. We all have to live in it together. So what do? Well, we pray. Baruch atah Yahweh, Eloheinu melech haolam, shelo ashani isha. I repeat the name of Yahweh Eloheinu, who did not make me a woman. No, I'm not a Muslim, but I will pray to Allah. Baruch atah Asher, Anat Malecha Ha'olam, Asher Yitzaret Ha'adam B'chachama Uvara Ve'o. I repeat the name of Asher Anat, who made me with many openings and cavities. So, for all of you now in my chat saying Free Palestine, I want to assure you that I agree with you. I want every Palestinian to be free and to have equal rights as anyone else who lives in that land. But what do you actually mean when you say Free Palestine? Right? Like, what does it mean for Palestine to be free? Does it mean another nation state among the nation states with presidents and bureaucracies? Is that what Free Palestine means? Does it mean equal rights? Does Free Palestine mean the end of Israel? It might. It could mean many things. Israel, the land of God, those are his people, and you stand with them. Well, what does it mean to be a chosen person, right? Like, what kind of egotism and xenophobia could lead you to claim that you are the one chosen people, and all other people are lesser than you? I've heard that rhetoric my entire life about Jews. I've never understood it. The chosen people. Gives me chills. Crazy animal lady, I am not your best friend. I am here to support you. I am here to try to entertain you and perhaps soothe you. Make you feel like you're connected to something bigger than yourself even, but I'm not your best friend. I don't know you. And what you are seeing here right now is just an image of myself. It is not me. It's a projection from my body into a camera lens so that you can perceive it as I want you to perceive it. You're confused. What is this? Well, we're jumping around. You want me to be my best friend. Well, that's interesting. I'm glad that you'd like to be my friend. I would like to be your friend in so much as an image of me, as a recorded image of me can be someone's friend. Just be aware that I am not a physical creature that you can touch or know in any real human sense. I'm an image. Remember that. So, where were we? Occupation. Let me sing you one more song about occupation. So, I came upon a wedding that old families had contrived, with Bethlehem the bridegroom and Babylon the bride. Oh, great Babylon was trembling, and she stood there naked with me, and Bethlehem inflamed us both like the shy one at some orgy. And when we fell together, all our flesh was like a veil that we had to draw aside to see the serpent eat its tail. Oh. Some women wait for Jesus, and some we wait for Cain. And I'll hang upon my altar, and I'll hoist my axe again, I'll take the one who finds me back to where it all began, back when Jesus was the honeymoon, and Cain was just a man. And we'll read from pleasant Bibles that are bound in blood and skin. That Ashura is gathering all her children back again. So, there was an occupation 2,500 years ago, and the Empire of Babylon came and occupied Jerusalem, destroyed the temple, killed the people who lived inside it, took the rest and brought them into exile. And that story, that event, was narrativized and turned into the basis of modern Judaism, right? And the writer of that song, Leonard Cohen, notes that it's like a serpent which eats its tail. The destruction of Babylon and the destruction of Jerusalem are tied together, and all is one. Can I make you moderator so you can block some of the horrible people who show a lack of respect? Mods are taking care of the disrespectful people. So, if you would like to mod for me, you should join my Discord server, and there is a channel on the Discord server called Live Stream Discussion, and we can have a conversation about what good moderation looks like and what kind of tone I want in this stream, right? Because there are hateful people here. There are also curious people here. There are kind people here. There are loving people here. Mandinity, good morning. How are you? So if you want to mod for me, first you have to be my friend. I have to follow you on TikTok, and so there's a trust building exercise that goes off. Seeing all these comments, how do I stay so positive with such negativity? Well, because I'm playing an algorithmic game. Yes, I am Jewish, so you know that for every negative comment here, for every person calling me a dude, there are two who are kind and who are curious and who want to be a part of this community. And it's an unfortunate nature of the internet that in order to find one another, we have to sift through a bunch of refuse. And so I need moderation in my stream. But really what I need, it's not really about what I need even, right? Like, we're building a community here. We're setting shared intentions, and my moderators are my collaborators, and I'm so grateful for them that they help modify the discourse here, and they make the tone what I want it to be, and they're working really hard. So if you would like to help make this stream better, you can join my Discord server, and you can chat with me about what moderation would look like, and then I'll make you a moderator, and then you can help by muting people who are clearly trying to hurt me, and by saying things that support the kind of conversation that we want to be having in this space. So thank you all for all your hard work. What are my pronouns? So, people on TikTok think that these are my pronouns. Here, I will flip it. Everyone moderate. That's what I want to hear. You are all moderators in that each and every one of you has the capacity to speak and has the capacity to change the tone of our conversation, right? So please help make the stream what we want by saying good things. Tell me what you think prayer is. That's always what I want to hear. What do you think prayer is? Why are you here? What do you want to see out of this space? Who do you care about? I like it when you address one another. Anyway, these are what people think my gender is. Some hurtful people say that my gender is he. Most people think that I use she pronouns, which I do. And this is the data. This is how people perceive me. So, all the negative comments will be muted or blocked. Very good, baby love. Thank you. You're all working really hard. So, now we're gonna start chanting in Sanskrit. Gajananam Bhudaganati Sevitam Kapita Jambupala Sarabakshitam, Umasutam Sokabinasakarnam, Nahamatim Divyamayuravahanam, Rudasyasinam Sarasananatam, Guham Sadanam Saranam Prapadye, Yaku Hendu Tusaradavala, Yasupravasvarita, Yavina Varandamandita Kara, Yasveta Padmasana, Ya Brahmachuta Sankara Pratrapi, Devasata Pujita, Samampatu Saraswati Bhagavati, Nihe Sajadyapa, Om Namah Shivaya Gurave, Sachidananda Murtaye, Nisparanchaya Santaya, Shivanandaya Te Namaha, Shri Vishnudevanandaya Te Namaha, Om Sarva Mangla Manglaye, Shive Savarta Sadike, Saranye Triambake Gauri, Narayani Namostite, Narayani Namostite, Om. So, I am Jewish. I have Jewish ancestry and Jewish lineage, but the prayer that I was repeating is not in Hebrew but Sanskrit. It's a Hindu prayer. And I learned that prayer at the Shivananda Yoga Ashram, which is a Hindu monastery in the mountains, not far from where I live. And that is a prayer that is recited prior to beginning pranayama practice, breathing practice, which I never have time for these days because my students need me. And I have to go out there and go on a mushroom walk with them. But towards the end of the month, I promise I will do pranayama on this stream. We will enjoy it. My rice is done. Should have some rice soon. Well, let me do some rice things, and then we will go back and we will finish the service. Da-da-da. Do I support what the Israelis are doing to the Palestinians? Absolutely not, I don't. However, I don't think it's all Israelis that are doing it. I think that it is the IDF. I think it is the military that is occupying Palestine. And I do not support it one bit. Okay. So, I want to eat some kale. So, let's cook some kale. Alright. Steam well. Oh, hello, my friends. Welcome back. Okay. Very good. Am I always so peaceful? This is an act. I'm performing. But you know, you fake it till you make it. Good morning, Philly girl. Jayambakam yajamahe Sugandhim pushtivardhanam Orva Rukami bhavandanan Mrityar Mukshiyamamritato Triambakam yajamahi sugandim pushtivardhanam Orva Rukami Bhavandanan Mrityur Mukshiyamamritatom Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashantu Makashidu Kabhagbhave Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityur Mamritam Gamaya Om Purnamadam Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Om Peace 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 Om. That outer world is full. This inner world is also full. From fullness comes fullness. Take full from full. Fullness remains. Om. Peace. All is one. Yahweh Echad. Midwest Best, you owe me an apology because you were mean to me once. Because you thought I was a jobless liberal. But you love my content. Oh, I have many jobs. I work very hard. Did you know I'm working right now? This is my job. My job is to care for you all. To care about every single one of you and to try to listen to you all, even though it's virtually impossible. It's a very difficult job. But here we are together in this space. And I hope you're having a good time. I hope that you feel connected to something. So, I love your videos. Thank you for educating us. You're so welcome. This is not a job. Go do some real work. I beg to differ. Can you be a mod? Philly girl, if you'd like to be a mod, join my Discord server, and then we can have a conversation about what I expect from my mods and what kind of tone we want in the server and in the stream. And we can go from there. So, now we're going to talk about prayer. Why do you all pray? What brings you into this space again and again? Why do you listen to me say these same words over and over again? You know what they are. You've heard them before. And yet you're still here. That's pretty incredible. So I'm going to now sing a song about prayer so that we can think together about what it means to be repeating syllables in a context like this over the internet. What does it mean to pray? I'm curious what you think. I don't want to pray to my maker, no. I just want to be feeling free. Not just who I am, but the pink in golden land and that wide, wild sky over me. Help me to be sun, help me to the sun. Hey, I'm looking everywhere. See, I'm looking to become not the prayer, but the prayer. And I don't want to pray, no. I don't want to pray, no, no, no. I don't want to pray, we don't want to pray, and it's not much good to talk, better to walk it. Ooh, not much good to take, better to give. We are done, forgiven, and forgotten of our sins, and I promise you, my friends, all that dies will live again. So, pardon, God and Mom. What I'm saying isn't fair. See, I'm looking to become not the prayer, but the prayer, and I don't want to pray, no. I don't want to pray, no, no, no. I don't want to pray, we don't want to pray, I love Allah, Allah made love, and Yahweh, Yahweh made hate. Asher, Asher, I made good, and Anat, Anat made bad. Eloheinu made love, and Yahweh, Yahweh made hate. I love Allah, God made, God made, God made. But I don't want to pray to my maker. I just want to be feeling free. Not like in a book or the leaves of trees that shook from a word that means only not a thing. No, no. Pardon, God and Mom. What I'm saying isn't fair. See, I'm looking to become not the prayer, but the prayer. And I don't want to pray, no. I don't want to pray, no, no, no. I don't want to pray, we don't want to pray. Pray. I love Allah, Allah made love, and Yahweh, Yahweh made hate. Asher, Asher, made good, and Anat made bad. Eloheinu made love, and Yahweh, Yahweh made hate. Ela Bala. God made, God made, God made me. Except, it's a lie. You know that, right? None of those gods exist. I made me. Or you all are helping make me right now. This image of me could not exist without you. And so you are making me in this moment. Why don't we want to pray? That is the refrain. I don't want to pray. I don't want to pray to my maker. Because my maker, I don't want to pray to my father. Everyone here in the chat telling me I have father issues. Oh, good, right. You figured it out. You watched my video that said my father's transphobic, and now you want to hurt me with it. But I don't want to pray to my father. I don't want to pray to my mother. They made me, but they didn't, right? I don't want to pray to Yahweh. I pray to him. I don't want to. I don't want to pray to anyone. Prayer isn't to someone. Prayer is, it's an experience of being in union of sound together with others, right? Like, maybe some of you at home right now are even saying the words alongside me. That would be really special, right? Prayer isn't about trying to get something. It's not about receiving land from Allah or from Yahweh, land that was stolen from someone else. I mean, that's part of the tradition. That is why I repeat those words every day. But no, I think that prayer is more about communication. Communication with others, communication with yourself. Being in unison. Repeat, repeat, repeat. That's my answer. But it's really nice to read. The literal translation of prayer is to petition someone. What is the etymology of prayer? From what language does that word come from? Would you like to meet my cat? My cat has been sitting here the entire time. Look at this creature. Hey, you. Hey, you. Okay, you can go down. You can't win with these comments. No, you can't. But there are genuinely thoughtful people in here. People who are trying to communicate with one another and with me and to live authentic lives. There are also people in here who are just trying to make a mess, basically. They just want to make a mess in the comment section. And, like, that is your right. This is a public space. If you want to make a mess in it, you can. But my moderators will clean it up, and they're doing a fantastic job. So thank you, moderators, for all that you do. Hi, Allison. How are you doing today? So now we're going to conclude with arati. The word arati in Sanskrit means flame or light. Here's the book we're going to be reading from. And here is the arati. Oh, hold on. There. Can you see the flame? There it is. Very tiny, but it's here. So, the refrain for this next prayer, Jaya Jayarati, we wave the light. Here's the light. And we will remind ourselves all of the things which come from light. You like my mural? This tree? It's a good tree. I think so. Do I live with my family? I don't live with my mother and father, but I do live with my family, yes. I'm very lucky to have a family that I can live with. So, let's begin. Jaya Jayarati Vina Vinayaka Vina Vinayaka Shri Ganesha Jaya Jayarati Subramanya Subramanya Kartikeya Jaya Jayarati Venugopala Venugopala Venuola Papa Vidura Navanita Chora Jaya Jayarati Venkanta Ramana Venkanta Ramana Sankata Harana Sita Rama Radhe Shama Jaya Jayarati Gauri Manohara Gauri Manohara Bhavani Sankara Samba Sadashiva Uma Maheshwara Jaya Jaya Rati Raja Rajeshwari Raja Rajeshwari Tripura Sundari Mahalakshmi Mahasaraswati Mahakali Mahashakti Jaya Jaya Rati Anjaneya Anjaneya Hanumanta Jaya Jaya Rati Dattatreya Dattatreya Trimurti Avatara Jaya Jaya Rati Adityaya Adityaya Bhaskaraya Jaya Jaya Rati Sanistaraya Sanistaraya Bhaskaraya Jaya Jaya Rati Sankaracharya Sankaracharya Advaita Gurave Jaya Jaya Rati Sadgurunata Sadgurunata Shivananda Jaya Jaya Rati Vishnu Devananda Vishnu Devananda Vishnu Devananda Jaya Jaya Rati Agastya Munaye Agastya Munaye Shriyama Priyaye Jaya Jaya Rati Ayapa Samine Ayapa Samine Dharma Shastave Jaya Jaya Rati Jesus Gurave Moses Gurave Buddha Gurave Jaya Jaya Rati Muhammad Gurave Guru Nanak Gurave Samastya Gurubho Namaha Jaya Jaya Rati Avenugopala Om Natatra Suyabhati Natandrakaratam Nema Vidyabhati Kutoya Magni Twameva Bantamin Banti Sarvam Tasya Basya Samidam Vibanti Om Gange Kayamuni Kaiva Govari Saraswati Narmade Siddhi Kaveri Namastutam Namo Namaha. The language in Sanskrit. The language is Sanskrit, not Hebrew. Hebrew came first in the prayer book. Now we're doing Sanskrit. The language in Sanskrit, and the translation goes like this. Neither the sun shines there, nor the moon, stars, and lightning. So from where does its light come? That shines everything, shines after that. By its light, everything else is lit. What is it? Well, it, of course, is the name of God. The concept of God, right? Light. We are made of light. From light all comes. That's what Einstein said, yes? Theories, physical theories about the universe which claim that light and matter are interchangeable and can be converted into one another. And in fact, when the universe began, all was light, until eventually that light congealed into matter, and eventually that matter evolved into us. And then we learned ways of capturing our images in light and sending them to one another so that we could communicate through the light. Twameva mata, chapita twameva, twameva bandusha saka twameva, twameva vidya, travinam twameva, twameva sarvam mama deva deva, kayena vacha, manasendriyarva, buddhyatmana va prakriti sabhavat, karomi adyad, mangalam parasmahi, Narayana iti sarmarpayami Sarvadharmam pravichaya mamikam savarnam vraja Aham sva sarva papayo mokshayami ma sucha. Whatever actions I perform with my body, speech, mind, senses, my nature, my intellect, or my emotions, all these I dedicate to you, to all of you. Thank you all so much for being here. And yes, as Allison said, if you have questions, please stick around for breakfast time and you can ask them and I will answer them. Breakfast is imminent, but before we can eat, we need to say Kaddish. For all of those people who died yesterday of coronavirus, and for all of those others who have suffered from the forces of death and injustice since our living lineage began with Luca, the last universal common ancestor 3.8 billion years ago. And for all of those lives that will continue to suffer until every lineage descended from us is gone, whenever that may be. And for the last 2,500 years, my ancestors have been saying the following words in response to death. Hit Gadal Vid Gadash Shame Rabba Bialma Devrachute Viam Lich Malchute B'chayachon v'yomechon v'chayid kol beit Yisrael b'galav v'zman kari v'yimru amin. Yehi shemei rabba miva'arch li'olam olmei olmaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yirman v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudisha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tishbichata v'nechemata diamiran v'yoma v'yimru amin. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'yachol Yisrael v'yimru amin. Oseh shalom v'yimramav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'yachol Yisrael v'yimru amin. Oseh shalom v'yimramav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'yachol Yisrael v'yimru amin. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you here tomorrow to say these words again. Now we're going to have breakfast, and yes, indeed, there will be dumpster raisins. And I'm hungry, and I'm excited to eat them. So I'm going to turn off Facebook and YouTube. And